Hi, folks. Steve Urban here, founder and CEO at recruiting firm Riderflex. If you enjoyed today's guest interview, please give it a like and be sure to subscribe to the Riderflex podcast. And now, a quick word from our sponsor.
Try the #1 marketing platform for small business. Everything you need from design to marketing to CRM. Learn more at marketing360.com. Marketing 360. Fuel your brand.
Shelby Dash and Kristina Clifford on the Riderflex podcast. They are from Take Two Content. How you doing, guys?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us on, Steve. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I'm happy to have you on the show. Interesting story. I love the personal feel and the authentic feel of your brand. You're making it human. You put yourselves out there. So it's not just you're not just marketing a service. You're keeping it real, so to speak. I like that. That's right up my alley.
That's the only way to keep it. Yeah.
So tell me, give me the personal stuff first. I want to know, family, early life, where you grew up. Give me some early stuff. Whoever wants to go first. It doesn't matter. Kristina, you're on my left, I guess, if you want to go first.
Yeah. I mean, I had a pretty nice childhood. I grew up in Kentucky, small town, Danville, Kentucky. Some of the funniest people are from Kentucky, by the way. I had a blast growing up and grew up with two older brothers who, they got into trouble from time to time. And I was definitely labeled as one of the Clifford kids.
The Clifford kids. Okay. The Clifford kids, they were a problem in town.
Yeah, they were a problem in town. And so when I would join a classroom, a teacher would be like, oh, another Clifford kid. My brothers are doing great. They're fine. They just had a little, adolescence, rambunctious, that kind of thing.
All right.
I did get into some trouble too, actually.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anything cool? Like arrested? You had to call mom from the sheriff's office? Anything cool like that?
Okay. I've got a story about that. Yeah, I do, but that's later years. And
whichever arrest you want to share, whichever one you want to share.
Oh my gosh. Well, we used to go out to this place called The Point on Lake Harrington. And this is like not a great story. It's kind of not a sad story, but it is a sad story, but my brother, he drank a little too much and he fell on the rocks. It was really bad. And the ambulance came. It was kind of crazy.
Ooh.
And me, I guess, you know what I did? And I feel ashamed.
You hid in the bushes.
I took booze into a school dance and got caught.
Oh, I thought you were okay. That's I need something more crazy than that. That's okay. That's okay.
No. Shelby.
What'd your mom and dad do though, real quick, Kristina? What'd your parents do?
My dad owned a paint company called Deco Art. And he recently just sold it. So he's finally retired.
Okay.
And my mom was a teacher for a long time and raised us 3 crazy kids.
Are they still married?
They are. They like their space, but they're still married.
That's probably why they're still married.
What'd you say?
That's probably why they're still married, because they give each other space. That's interesting. I was just telling my wife, we were at lunch just now, and I said, listen, I'm going to go camping for 2 or 3 days. I'm going to go by myself. So we need space.
I love that. I think that's the key to a relationship. My boyfriend's about to move in. So he knows that the space is going to be happening. It's very
okay.
important.
So not married, no kids?
No kids. Honestly, still undecided. I love kids. I feel like I can't take care of myself quite yet, especially with starting this business. This business is kind of a baby right now. So TBD, I got a few more years left.
Okay. And you were never married. You just had relationships, never married before.
Yeah, just picking the wrong guys left and right. I finally found a good one though. So
okay, all right, he's all right. Sounds good. You're gonna let him move into your house.
Yes, I sure am. He's
Okay,
very clean though. I'm the opposite. He's a little OCD. He really gets down and dirty. Well, down and not dirty with the scrubbing and he likes his things just so that will actually be kind of nice.
That's a good. It's a good balance, actually. Yeah, that'll probably work out just fine. Okay, very good. Dying to ask you how Kentucky Girls decides to go out to California and try to make it in acting. But first, let's talk to Shelby. Let's get Shelby, what's up? Give me some good stuff when you were a kid. Go ahead.
I don't really have any like good juicy stories about getting in trouble because I was a really good kid. Like, I was a weirdly good kid, but I was also super weird. So there's that. I can lean in there. My friend and I had a whole made up world, a made up language when we were like 14. This wasn't like an 8-year-old. This was like an 8-year-old thing. So we got weird with it. But I'm from Philadelphia. I'm an only child. I'm a brat. No, just kidding. I hope I'm not.
She's the most giving, sharing only child I've ever
met. What'd your folks do?
My dad is a sound engineer, so he would build sound systems for like big nightclubs and also like do concerts and stuff like that. Oh, cool. And something interesting I realized about the two of us actually is that both of our dads were entrepreneurs.
I see.
I think that has something to do with like how we found ourselves.
Oh, that just clicked.
Also,
Christina's just now realizing this.
When your parents came to visit, her dad was talking about his business, and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. Like, I think that
is why we attract.
Why we're doing this.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay. And partners, marriages, kids. What's the social?
I live with my boyfriend. Our only children are a cat and a dog, Dee Dee and Marty. Best kids I could ever ask for.
Is this guy the one, or you're still deciding? You don't know for sure.
He is the one, and he's also in the next room.
Oh yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me right now?
Potentially, maybe.
Well, has he not asked you to marry him? What's the holdup? What's going on?
He has not. He has not asked me yet. I don't know. You'd have to ask him.
Jeez, pressure's on now. How long you lived together? Has it been a year, 2 years?
We've lived together for, I think, almost a year.
Almost a year. Okay. Yeah.
So
all right. You're getting closer.
Yeah.
All the sins and scars and scary stuff, they're coming out. I mean, you know everything almost, right? Did you discover anything? Yeah. Okay.
I know it all. And he knows it all about me too. So.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Very
I'm
good.
no angel. I'll tell you that right now.
What's your boyfriend do?
He's a director and an editor as well. We kind of met through work.
Is that that's how you met him? You guys were shooting a video is that how it happened? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, Christina and I started making, before we started this business, how we got our start was doing like comedy videos on social, just for fun, for, our followers and whatnot. And he was kind of doing the same thing, but a little bit differently. So we technically met through Instagram. We started doing like videos, like sometimes one of us would go and shoot a video with them. And then he made his first movie.
Boy, check it out.
In 2019. And we were both in it. And that's when we really got to know each other. So
I see. Well, okay. Now, how did you guys meet?
We met in acting class and in the comedy world in general.
In California?
Out in California. Yeah.
Okay. So all right. I didn't know if you were like school friends, college buddies, or if you knew. So you did not know each other until you moved to LA. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All
and
right.
I feel like it's super hard to find a partnership like we have. Like, there's so many people who say they want to do all these things. They want to make these videos. They want to do all these aspirational things, but I feel like not many people have anything to back it up with. So when I met her, she was just like gung-ho, ready to do it, ready to work. And I was very attracted to that. And she was really funny. Okay. She's a funny gal. Great sense
Shelby,
of humor.
Shelby, stop checking your phone. Pay attention. Come on now. Get engaged.
Sorry. I just wanted to turn the air conditioning on, but then I turned the air conditioning on and it was really loud. And then I wanted to turn it off.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was
doing. Just giving you a hard time. Kristina, so let me back up for a second. You're in Kentucky. Did you go to college? Because your LinkedIn profile, I can't tell. I couldn't get. What did you go to school? And then how did you decide to get to LA? Let's go to that first, and then we'll come back to when you guys met.
Yeah, well, I went to school at Coastal Carolina University in South Carolina for musical theater.
Oh, okay.
When I was growing up in Kentucky as a kid, probably like 5 years old, my best friend at the time, there was this new thing in town called Arts for Kids. And it was like this acting, performing arts thing for children. And I started doing that. And I just I loved it. I was a very, very shy kid. So I think it kind of helped me come out of my shell a little bit. And I did that all the way through the end of high school. And I don't think I even had a second thing in my mind. I was like,
you're going to be an actress. You're going to Hollywood. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to Hollywood. I need to get out of this small town and spread my wings.
So what'd you do? Pack up a Subaru and drive out to Cal? Did you just drove out there by yourself and got an apartment, or did you know somebody?
Well, I was in South Carolina in college, and my best friend at the time there, I was graduating. I was going to LA no matter what. Yeah. And she was a sophomore in college. And then she was like, "Oh, you're going to LA?" She's like, she said, "I'm just going to go with you." And she drops out of college and we drive cross country together. And I mean, she's very successful. She's just I could never be as smart as she is. But that's kind of how it happened. And the first few years were rough. We definitely struggled exploring LA and trying to figure it out.
Can I ask you, had you been to Hollywood and LA before that? Before you drove out? Well, a Kentucky girl driving into Hollywood, that must have been a shock to your system, right? I mean, you just driving around town, you must have been like, "What? This is a different planet."
I mean, especially because Los Angeles is so big and has so many different areas. It's like you don't even know where your center is when first coming here. So it was definitely a lot to learn. Had a lot of weird jobs.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Now, okay. Then Shelby, how about you? Did you go to college and the same thing? You just drove out? Give me your story real quick.
Yeah, I went to USC here in LA. So that's how I came out here. Yeah. I had never been out to California before, but yeah, since I went to school here, it was kind of like a much more easy transition.
I see.
That LA life. Where are you located?
What's that?
Where are you located?
I'm in Colorado, just north of Denver.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. So, all right. So I got it now. So now I know the kind of where you're at geographically. And then what happens? You guys you're in an acting class and you meet each other there. Is that what happens?
Yeah. Yes. Leslie Kahn, she is an acting teacher out here who specializes in comedy. She's kind of a comedic genius of sorts. Okay. And she really teaches you the whole process of going through a script and figuring it out and analyzing it. And she teaches you kind of how to do it for yourself too, when acting, but also very helpful when writing. So I remember she did this one scene, this one comedy scene in class.
Shelby did?
Shelby did.
Okay.
I remember exactly what scene it was too. And I was like, "Oh my God, this girl's so funny." And then I don't even know how it started. It started pretty organically. Mm-hmm. We just started, we knew we each wanted to make stuff before everybody was doing, before TikTok, before the oversaturation of Instagram. And we made some pretty bad videos. Bad. The writing was bad. The lighting was bad. It was all bad.
Yeah.
But from there we learned and we were passionate about it. So we kept going and finally found our footing.
Mm-hmm. So when you first started, you became friends, you go out for drinks, whatever, you guys connect, right? There's an emotional connection. And at first, are you like, hey, let's make some videos just to get our name out there? You're not thinking, let's make videos to start a business. This is just, you're just trying to get traction for your own profiles at that time. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, when you're an actor, so much of your career is in other people's hands. You don't have a lot of control. You're waiting for an audition. You're waiting
to get an agent.
You're waiting, even after those auditions, you're waiting to hopefully have the right look, the right voice, not look too similar to the lead character, all those things. So kind of creating our own content was a way for us to like show what we could do. Awesome. Without having to wait for someone to give us the opportunity.
I think that's wonderful. What were you doing to feed yourselves during this time? Were you working odd jobs? Were you waitressing? What were you doing?
So many weird jobs. My weirdest job by far was being a standardized patient, which is basically, you know, that Seinfeld episode where Kramer's a fake patient. I did that for 4 years.
What? I don't understand. What do you do? Like what?
Honestly, I can't say too much because they might sue me, but basically I have like, they give you some kind of an ailment and then medical students come in and you have to kind of like memorize question answers and act like you have this ailment and they have to diagnose you. Yeah.
I see. Wow. Well, that was kind of acting. That was a little bit of acting.
A little bit. Yeah. It was really just phoning it in at 8 a.m., but you know.
What was your weirdest, toughest job, Kristina?
Well, first coming out here, there was a lot of weird jobs. One job in particular, I remember I was like a greet girl for a used car sale. Like
I didn't know that.
They have for a while. They have those? Okay, I didn't even know they had those.
And the girls are also in charge of the customer that goes to which car salesman. And the car salesmen are like, they're hungry, you know, they're like, he got her first. And we're like having to organize. It was insanity.
Wow.
But then I bartended for over 15 years, I would say.
I see.
Bartender and waitress at this one particular restaurant.
Shelby, any bartending for you? Any waitressing for you?
Yeah, I did waitressing. I did catering. I never made it to bartender because I wasn't good enough. I was the worst waitress. I worked at this one restaurant where they would rank you in Beverly Hills. They literally ranked the servers. And it was a public thing. Like you could look and see where you ranked. Everyone could see it.
You mean the customers? The customers could see it?
No, not the customers, but like the whole staff. And then basically how you ranked, they would give you like better sections, like more desirable sections, whatever. I couldn't make it out of the bottom 3. Okay. I could not climb out of the bottom 3. They hated me.
Okay. Sorry. So you guys are doing these odd jobs. You're going to auditions and trying to get acting gigs and hooking up together to make these videos all at the same time. Is that right?
It was a lot.
It's still a lot.
Yeah. Right. Plus you're trying to have a social life too, like somewhere in there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. All right. Did you ever, either one of you, get called? Have you been in, name the biggest thing you've been in? Do you want to share that? Have you been like an extra in a big movie that I need to know about?
Oh, no. I mean, oh gosh. Well, no, I've done a few commercials here and there. I was in a horror film that shot in Georgia, the country.
The country. Is it, if I look it up on Amazon, can I rent it tonight? Watch that. The country.
Yeah. It's on
Netflix. No. I had an experience. I mean, like I wouldn't take it back for the world because I met some really great people and like the director was awesome. And like, I wouldn't take it back, especially just being there for a month and a half was wild. Yeah, so it was a really great experience. And if you want to watch it on Netflix, you should. Yeah.
Which one do you get killed super fast or do you make it? How long do you make it?
Till the end. I get killed.
Oh, okay. All right. Shelby, how about you? What have you been in? I need to watch.
Probably the biggest thing I've been in is my boyfriend's movie Butt Boy, which came out I think in 2020.
What is it? Butt Boy? Did you say Butt Boy?
Butt Boy. Yeah, it's called Butt Boy. You can rent it on Amazon.
Butt Boy. Is it X-rated? Butt Boy? It's got a title like it's X-rated.
You wish it was. No, it's not. It's a really dark comedy. And when you watch it, you'll understand why it's called that. It's sort of like Seven, if Seven were a comedy. Believe it or not.
It's like a Fincher film, but there's like one joke. It's got a cult following now.
It does.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Very cool. All right. So you guys are having fun. You're getting to know each other. You're doing this content. By the way, your videos, this is a good time to kind of tell the audience what's going on here, right? You want to share some links. You want to share. Tell us what you want to share. By the way, it's Take Two, the number 2, take2content.com, right? That's the URL and the name of the company. And then the YouTube page is also, is it Take Two Content YouTube page?
Yes, it's the same. And if you want to see some of our old comedy videos where we got started, I think you can just Google my name, Shelby Dash, and our old channel will come up too. So
okay, very good. Are you guys doing stand-up? Are you going to any? Are you doing clubs?
No, she did for a while.
I did it for a little bit, but you know, it's so hard to do stand-up. Like, I'm not a night person, but I'm a morning person. Okay.
Well, yeah.
I'm not into, going to Rocky's bar in Studio City at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. That's not for me, A bunch of creepy guys hanging out. We're good. We're good on that, So I did try it and I did enjoy it, but it's just, stand-up is so much work, and anyone that does it knows it's
another job,
it's a hustle. Yeah.
Okay, I want to come back to comedy and stand-up, but first let's go ahead and let's get the 3-minute elevator pitch on Take Two Content. Why should they call you? Who needs to call you? Who do you serve? What do you do? Tell us.
Yeah.
We're a one-stop shop video production company that can make a really funny ad for your brand or business, anywhere from TikTok to YouTube. We've recently done a couple broadcasts, so we're kind of doing it all. We love people who are willing to take risks with their content, who want to, make something funny, really get outside the box, because we think that's what gets the eyeballs.
Yes.
That was a long elevator pitch, but well said.
Are you talking like Dollar Shave Club type commercials? Type videos?
Exactly. Yeah.
We love that. Okay. Yeah, we love those.
Yeah. Okay. And then what's your target audience? Are you doing small to medium sized companies? Do you target any specific industries? Like, who are you going after?
We're kind of flexible right now. We work with a few different, categories of clients. Like, we have some clients that are just influencers that want regular content. We have some clients that are really small businesses that can maybe afford one video, and that's their whole brand video. And then we have some bigger clients that we work with more regularly that are doing, a lot more YouTube ads, and they're doing broadcasts. So we kind of run the gamut. And then in terms of industries, I would say we're pretty open. We weirdly have kind of a niche in the pet product industry, but
really.
But okay. I think just maybe because sometimes those companies are open to comedy because, animals are fun and cute.
Gotcha.
But yeah, we do it all.
And I feel like there's always room for comedy. Even when you think your product may not have a comedic edge, somewhere where there's a problem and relatability, there can be comedy.
Yeah, totally agree. How big's the company? Is it you two and Shelby's boyfriend, or what? Who's involved?
It's us two. It's just us two. We do hire independent contractors, depending on the size of the shoot. Sometimes it's just the two of us. Sometimes, we hire a full crew. It just depends.
Okay. So if it's I don't know if the word smaller is right, but if it's a smaller commercial, you have some lighting and camera equipment yourselves. You guys haul it in there yourselves, depending on the situation, or you outsource it to a bigger crew and then you direct them accordingly, I guess. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're producers, I guess. So,
Okay.
No matter like for a commercial or a YouTube ad, we're usually going to pitch the ideas, write the spot, and then cast it, hire the crew, book the location, set the day, do the editing, and then yeah, that's about it, right?
Are you using an agency, one agency in particular for the actors that you bring in? I'm curious how that works.
Yeah, well, we're lucky to have a whole network of actors that we've gotten to know over the last 10, 15 years. So we have people we want to pull from. We're always looking for new talent. And I'm currently in an acting class, so I'm always like keeping my eye out. But yeah, and then we can always ask friends of a friend for who they think could be good for a certain spot. And then my commercial agency, I've reached out to them before to see if they have the stats of a character. So
yeah, we'll also sometimes reach out to our old acting studio, and she'll send over suggestions.
All right. And how do you guys split up the tactical work? Like, who's the director, who's the writer, who's the producer, who does what?
We kind of share almost every task, I would say. Like, we both, I think, are.
She's better with the technical stuff. That's for sure.
But we both, yeah, I guess we bounce off of each other a lot, and it kind of goes project to project. Like, we sort of trade off who will edit what. Right now, she's taking on more of the editing. So then, you know, I might do more outreach, or I might do more producing or something like that.
Yeah. Who's doing the sales? Who's bringing in the gigs? Who's doing that?
That's a good question, isn't it? Well, you know, we've gone through phases where we've done like big spurts of just straight up outreach. And, you know, we've gotten some people through that. Luckily now I think we're kind of getting to a place where we're getting referrals, which has been great.
Okay. Very good.
So we've been pretty busy recently.
Have you? Okay. All right. Well, what do you do? Are you making enough money to pay yourselves yet? Or do you still have to do stuff on the side? Where are you at in the life cycle of this startup?
Well, I feel like we're kind of in this weird place where there's like all these things on the table, but they haven't been necessarily sought through yet. So there's a lot of things coming at once. So it's a lot of, you know, managing and figuring that out. I wouldn't say we're like in the clear when it comes to money, but we're still like working through that. I mean, our business is still very young. We started the LLC in November, August of last year.
So less than a year.
Oh, okay. Less than a year. All right.
Yeah. I mean, our goal is to hopefully bring somebody on, and so they can do the kind of stuff that we hate, honestly. Like
and what do you hate? What do you hate doing? Carrying the cameras,
pitching ourselves, the outreach, that kind of thing.
Oh, you don't. Oh, so you don't like the outreach? You don't like the sales part of it, huh? The biz dev. You don't like that?
No, I mean, what we do enjoy is like when someone's interested. I think we really enjoy pitching ideas, but
selling them in that way,
yeah. But in terms of like reaching
the initial call or
cold outreach, it's not our favorite thing
or our forte, really.
Yeah. Also accounting. We'd love to have someone do the books, because let me tell you, I am so bad at it. Every time I put something in, I send it to her. She's like, girl, this does not look right.
I know somebody. I'll send you somebody via email.
Oh, okay, great.
I know somebody. By the way, do I have both? Well, let's see. Let me make sure. We don't have to share that content. We don't have to share the information on the recorded call here, but I do have Christina's email. So
yeah, you can even, I mean, it's fine if we say Christina at Take Two Content or Shelby at Take Two Content.
Okay. That's how people can get a hold of you?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. I'll drop you some information on somebody that might be able to help.
Cool.
Okay. So it is truly a startup that you are bootstrapping. Did you have to take on any cash? Have you raised any cash? Are you planning on raising any cash?
No, we
haven't. No.
Yeah, I mean, for a while, like even before we started the official LLC, I've been like taking a little from the savings. I was kind of weaning off my my bartending job, which I finally did. But you know, we still have money coming in from the last jobs, but it's nothing that is 100% sustainable just yet. But like, we see the future and we see the opportunities coming in, and we're very positive about that.
Okay.
So
Nobody's putting cash besides you two.
Yeah, that's it. Us and our clients. We've only put in like $800, I think. And then obviously
and the rest of I see.
But,
okay. Very good. And the boyfriends aren't equity holders. They don't own any part of the LLCs. Not yet.
No. They get nothing.
Get a whole lot of nothing.
How did you write up an operating agreement? Do you have a clean? You do. Okay.
Yeah. And luckily, I have a lawyer friend who he probably hates me right now because I've gone to him so many times recently. But he looked over that for us, and
good.
We do have an accountant we talk to as well, who's helped us as well.
That's good. Is it 50-50 or is it 51-49? Who's captain?
It's 50-50.
It's 50-50.
50-50.
Like
so
50-50.
I think we trust each other, you know. So everyone was recommending doing the 49-51, but I think we just trust each other that much that it didn't make a difference for us.
Have you guys gotten in an argument about anything yet? I mean, I'm sure you have. You've known each other long enough. I'm sure you've gotten into some spats. I mean, come on.
I don't think we've ever gotten in like a fight or an argument, but we will like hold our ground with certain things. Like sometimes there's something where she's like, no, it needs to be this way. I'm like, no, it needs to be this way. But usually we'll find a compromise. I mean, even before we started this LLC, we've been working together for probably 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I can tell when she gets agitated and then I know when to back off.
So Shelby's
I'm the annoying one in this relationship.
No, that's not true. That's not true. I am so like anal retentive. Like I am like her boyfriend. Like I like to have things a certain way. I'm a big old bitch.
No, she's not.
Yeah, you know, if you would have asked me, I would have said go 51-49 as well, just because of my experience and people I know. And I mean, I've seen, you know, I guess as long as the operating agreement has some sort of mechanism in it that says, okay, if we disagree, we're going to flip a coin or whatever. As long as there's something that kind of clarifies what happens when the shit hits the fan and you do get into an argument, because even if you love each other and eventually you're going to have a major disagreement about something, it's inevitable because you're a human being.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, I just always caution people to have, even if you don't have 51-49, it's good to have some sort of previous
deal breaker.
Something. Because Shelby's feisty. I can tell. She's eventually going to piss you off, Christina. No, just give you a hard time. Okay, very good. I appreciate that overview of what you guys do. So the pricing. Now, didn't I see, am I mistaken, or did I see the pricing right on the website? Didn't I?
Yeah, there's some ranges on the website.
Mostly ranges.
I'm surprised by that. I'm sure you've had some investors tell you you probably had some advisors tell you not to put the pricing on the website, probably, huh?
Well, you know, first of all, we don't really have any advisors. So if you're listening out there.
You do now.
Right yeah. I guess the reason we put the prices on the website is because a lot of people don't understand what video entails, and they might see something on our site. They're like, oh, I want that. And their budget is $500. So the reason we put that on there is just so that people know off the bat, like, please don't make us go through the pitch process if your budget is only $500. But that said, I'd love to hear your thoughts as to why we shouldn't.
So I understand everything you just said, and a lot of that does make sense. You're trying to weed out the people that you don't want to burn minutes on. So I get it. But you know, in the early stage where you're just trying to get traffic and you're trying to make connections, you're trying to network, you're trying to talk to people. I think you might be missing out on conversations that could lead to other conversations.
Right. Yeah.
That's all. I mean, but it depends on how much time you have. Because I will tell you, when I saw the prices myself, not to scare the listeners off, but when I saw the prices, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, this is going to knock out a lot of small businesses that really do need help making a video. I think a lot of small business owners do need help making videos, and you're right, they can't afford. I think I saw one that was 35,000. Unless you correct me if I'm wrong.
Got that higher tier, yeah, for something that's more in line with like broadcast or something that's a higher scale.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying that's too high. I'm sure it's totally justified for what you do. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. It's a debatable topic. I probably, if it were me, I probably wouldn't put the prices on there. What I might do is say, hey, if you're interested, give me your name and phone number and tell me what your budget is.
Yeah.
and then
that's way better.
The thing about that though is people never want to tell you what their budget is.
We tried that.
Okay.
We've asked so many times and they always say, oh, I don't know, we're open. Let's hear your ideas. And it's like, well, we kind of need to know. So
yeah, I understand. I had a guy tell me once, he's like, why would you give your prices out without collecting the customer's data for future? So he made us, the guy that we had, one of our mentors, he's like, make them fill out their name and email address, at least capture their name and email address before you give them pricing. But anyway,
that's a great idea. We should do that. And when would you think is the best time to then reveal what your price range may be?
Yeah, I think the first conversation is fine. Yeah, I mean, just be like, hey, Johnny, glad to meet you. Thank you so much. Hey, let's just do a quick phone call, not even a video conference. Let's just do a 5-minute call. Nice to meet you. Got your email. Wanted to reach out. Hey, thanks a lot. Appreciate your interest in our brand. By the way, please like our stuff and subscribe to our YouTube videos. Hey, listen, I don't want to waste your time because I know it's super valuable. Just tell me, I just need to know your budget right up front because listen, here's our pricing, and then maybe you just knock it out like that. But at least you're capturing info from clients that might be able to, from prospects that might be able to afford you later when they raise cash. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might get investors, they might raise cash, and then they're like, oh man, I want to go back to Shelby and Kristina. I couldn't afford them before, but anyway. And
this is why we came on this podcast, Steve.
And then you can drip on them. You got their data, and then over time you're dripping on them every 3 to 4 months. You're like, hey, Johnny, just checking in. Did you get that cash raised? Because if you did, you can use some of that to pay us to make you a video.
Yes, yes, I love that. I love that.
But anyway, okay, so the price, we talked about price because I did see that. I was a little surprised to see that on video. Okay. And then the other thing is your social media, personal social media from both of you. I'm just curious about this. So Kristina, I looked at your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile is it's not extensive.
Yeah, you're very correct on that, Steve.
Is there a reason? What's your strategy there? What are you doing? Tell me what you're doing there. Just curious what your strategy is.
There is no strategy in that department necessarily. Like we have used LinkedIn a lot. We created like a Take Two LinkedIn as well.
I saw that.
Per your point, there is definitely some work to be done on my personal page, and I'm sure Shelby's is awesome.
Shelby's is only slightly better. It's just a little barely.
We're newbie business people. We're trying to learn as we go, and take one thing.
I totally understand. Totally understand. If I were you guys, I'd bang the shit out of LinkedIn with what you're doing, because now you are business owners, right? So you're selling a service, and LinkedIn is the place to do it.
Yeah.
In my mind, LinkedIn is like a giant trade show, but it's open all the time.
Yeah.
So there's this 24-hour a day trade show with a bunch of little booths, and everybody's walking around passing out business cards. Hey, how you doing? This is what I do. This is what you do. Cool. Nice to meet you. Oh, let's connect. Okay. Yeah, cool. I might need you. That's what it is.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
And you guys have a really cool, unique. Your brand is unique. Your image is unique. Your approach is unique, which I really love. And I think the more you're on LinkedIn, the more you're talking about it, the more you're putting out stuff on LinkedIn. People are like, "Oh yeah, I need a video," and then they click on it and they're like, "Whoa, these girls are pretty cool. Let me call them."
Yeah.
True.
Because that's what I thought. When I first saw you, I shit you not. This was my reaction when I was getting ready for the podcast. This is what I do every morning. I'm like, okay, who do we got today? Because I like to, listen to stuff on the treadmill before the interview. So I go to the LinkedIn profile and I pull up Christina's LinkedIn profile. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this? She's got it. And at first, and then I pull up Shelby. I'm like, I thought they were in marketing. What's going on here? So at first I'm like, all right, this is not going to be good. And then I went to your website, and then from there I went to the YouTube videos, and then I was like, okay, they're cool. This is going to be good. My point is, if I hadn't gone to the website, like I may have just bypassed your service on LinkedIn and been like, no, I'm not using it.
Right. Yeah.
But once I saw your videos and stuff and I saw you guys on camera, I was like, oh, they're cool. Yes, I want to talk to them.
So basically don't skimp is the lesson.
I would be all over social media because you guys you're so energetic, you're so positive, you're so together, your chemistry is awesome. I'm sure you've been told that before. I'm sure all the acting people, all your acting friends have told you that. But your chemistry is really good together. So when you're on camera, you're very attractive as in you're attractive. Okay, what am I calling?
Yeah, we know what you're saying. Yeah.
You're both attractive, but I mean, your personalities are attractive. Like, I'm like, oh, I want to know more. Like, I want to know more.
Yes.
And I think the more you're on LinkedIn, the more you're on social media, the more you're blasting the crap out of that, the better. So anyway.
That's good feedback, because I think we definitely neglect LinkedIn. That's like the last rung of our social media that we pay attention to, obviously.
Okay. Now I want to ask you now, if you don't mind, and just for the listeners too, like, I would suggest calling Shelby and Kristina and telling them what you're after, what you're trying to build. At least drop them a voicemail, drop them an email, tell them what your budget is. If they think it fits you, maybe they'll get back to you.
Yeah. We do a free 30-minute call as well for anybody that's interested to learn more.
Okay. Very good. Can the founders be in the video if they want to?
Yeah. We love that.
What if they're like bald and 55? Can they be in?
Yes.
We love it. We love
it. That's all right. I'm on camera plenty enough already. My kids already give me a bunch of shit about it. Yeah, that would be cool. Actually, my sons are good-looking men. I mean, they're both 30 and 26.
So they're older.
Yeah. All right. I want to move into a topic here before we run out of time, because I'm really fascinated about this. So we're going to switch gears here a little bit and just talk about comedy. And how do comedians and comics and comedy, how does it survive with this world we're living in, where you can't hardly say anything? Like, every single thing offends people, it's like, I mean, earlier here, let me give you a perfect example. When I first started talking to you guys, I said you guys, and I'm like, oh yeah, am I supposed to say guys anymore? I don't know. I can't remember.
Right.
And I'm like, so how are you guys going to deal with this strange world we're living in, where it feels like if you're in comedy, you got to be careful about every little thing? Can you talk about your approach and how you're dealing with this situation?
But I think our humor is, a little more innocent. It's a little more, because we do really go on that relatability factor, and we don't want to exclude anybody. So I think, like Shelby says, a lot of people think that comedy has to be like abrasive or aggressive in some way, or curse words all the time. Like, it doesn't have to be that. It can be straight relatability, and there are very creative ways to make something funny without offending anybody or making anybody feel excluded. So it is an interesting time right now, and we're learning too. So
Shelby, anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, I think she said it really well. I think it will swing back and we will have a little bit more freedom, but I think too, it's like, you know, with the internet today, anything you do, you know, is going to upset people. So you can have something that's totally safe and totally fun and totally light, and people can still find a reason to be upset. Like, you know, oh, you used a woman instead of a man, or, oh, you know, this person said this one thing. And as long as, you know, you're not, it's tough, but it's like, you know, I think we're pretty good, like she said, about keeping our comedy in the realm of relatable and something that you'd want to share with your friends and family, pulling on those things that we all share, those little insecurities, those little problems that, you know, when someone exposes them, it becomes funny. It's like, oh my gosh, that happens to me too. So we kind of stay in that area. You can always tell when someone's being authentic or when they're trying to push the boundaries for shock value. And I think when you're new to comedy, sometimes you think that's what comedy is. You think you have to shock people and you have to throw them off their game and say something really like wild and out there, but that's not true at all. Comedy really lives in the place where it's something that resonates with the audience, not something that pushes them away or makes them feel weird. Obviously there's like real pros like Norm Macdonald who is able to do that, but you know, with us, and especially in the commercial world, we keep it to those like relatable values, I would say.
Okay. Have you ever made something and then you cut it out later where you're like, ooh, that's going to piss somebody off, let's take that out? Has that happened?
Has that happened?
Maybe with like okay. For example, we started a Take Two TikTok, and we recently did a video, and I think we said some like curse words or something. I'm like, I was like, should we put this on our TikTok? Because there are some curse words. Maybe that wouldn't be like a good look. But at the same time, it is light and fun and in jest. So I don't, yeah.
Yeah, and all of our old comedy videos are about relationships between like us and our boyfriends, about female friendship, about farting. Like,
we probably should have taken down the fart video, to be honest.
Fart video is the best one. But so we don't have anything up that, like, we don't, you know, for us, it's not fun and it's not funny if we feel like we're making someone upset. So.
Oh, you're eventually going to make somebody upset. I mean, if you get big enough, you're going to. Should you, Shelby, I'll ask you first. Should people have the right to say whatever they want on social media?
You know, I listened to your last episode where you guys were talking about this, and I thought it was really interesting. I am so torn on this topic. I think you guys had great arguments in terms of free speech, but then in terms of something like Twitter being a private business and being able to, you know, control the narrative. So yeah, to be honest, I don't know. For me, when it comes to cancel culture, it's like, if you're bringing up something from someone's like past that they then acknowledge and apologize for and have like actual remorse for, you know, we're all humans. We all make mistakes. As long as we're learning and growing, that's like all we can do. So in terms of canceling someone after they've, you know, apologized and grown from the experience, I think that's not ideal, because then we're living in this world where we can't make any mistakes. We have to be perfect all the time, and that's impossible. But at the same time, you know, if you are a company and you have people saying crazy things that are, you know, encouraging people to hurt people or something like that, that's not good either.
The problem is, who's defining what's crazy?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I guess, is what you're saying going to, you know, make someone want to go out and physically harm other people? Is what you're saying a danger to society? Like you said, where do we draw those lines? But I think that's, you know, is it an old tweet that, you know, you shouldn't have said and you feel really bad about and you've apologized for? Or is it something that's like encouraging people to take aggressive action?
Let me make a note. Dig into Shelby's old tweets. No, I'm just playing.
I think I've written 2 tweets in my life. So
okay. Kristina, did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, or do you feel differently in any way?
I mean, I just want everybody to love each other.
Yeah, well,
I just want
me
love.
too. Me too.
I mean, I just feel like, I don't know how, but in a perfect world, people could come together and see the other side. I think that's a lot of the problems is we don't empathize as much. We don't look at other people's points. And I feel like it's becoming such a blockade. And I wonder if it is because of social media, and like even kids these days, it worries me that they're very much on their phone. They're not looking in their friends' eyes if they've like said something that's hurt them. Like there's a lot of blockades and barricades that is preventing us from connecting on a human level. Because I think deep down, we all want good. I think we all want the good for each other. I just think the communications have been so skewed, and you look at these comments on an Instagram post and it's just like, oh, it's crazy. So it's really hard to navigate right now.
Definitely. Well said.
I agree. It's a very difficult question. The control of information flow through the internet. That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to figure it out, but I like talking about
it. Yeah, me too.
I hope that you guys don't ever, you get big on YouTube and then you piss off Google and they just wipe you out. They just cancel your profile.
I hope so too.
I hope Google pays attention to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wouldn't it be nice to be big enough to actually be
canceled?
Right. Big enough to be canceled. That's a new term. We just coined that term.
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're almost out of time here. I have to ask you this because you're actors. This is really important. This is probably the best. It's probably the most important question so far.
Here we go.
Should Will Smith have slapped Chris Rock?
Absolutely not. Nope.
Okay. All right. Not cool, right? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, not cool. Not good. Not good. Not good.
Not a good look.
Not a good look. Not a good look. I actually think, hell, I don't know. I just from 30,000 feet, I think there's some demons in there. Something's going on behind the curtain in there.
Yeah. Oh, very much so. Very much so.
We all could just look within. This world would be a better place.
True.
I love everything about you guys. You really,
except our LinkedIn.
Well, I don't want to make it sound like I was picking on you. I just want to help. I talk to marketing video people all the time. I mean, I'm constantly, they're either on the podcast. I know them here in Boulder in Colorado because they own agencies. I know a shit ton of marketing video people. None of them are as cool as you. Okay.
That's so nice.
You guys have this chemistry attraction together that makes you very unique. So I think the more people that find out about you, they're going to want to use you just because they're going to want to, that way they can tell their friends,
Thank you. We think so.
Yeah. So I'll help you get it out there. I'll do whatever I can. Appreciate you being on the Riderflex podcast and sharing your story. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. You were awesome too. We